Hey, welcome to this week's video. It's going to be how to zip up code using GitHub Actions. So the idea here was for releases. So the idea here is if I have my repository, let me just open one up here. If I have my repository and I want to publish something into this releases tab, actually more specifically the tagging tab, I can using GitHub Actions, so it will automatically do it every time I push to master. A great example of this would probably be something like, let's say you have a CLI tool. Now this CLI tool, you have your whole pipeline set up. You have tests, you have you have unit tests, integration tests. You have maybe a branching strategy where you have a release branch, which is master, and you have a develop branch, which is another branch. And essentially, every time you merge into master, you're ready to go to production. Well, you would set up a GitHub action pipeline, like a workflow, to run through and then do your deployment automatically. So this is pretty simple. It's pretty simple because we're going to use this library here. This is a GitHub, well, I said library, but this is an action that someone has created so that others can use it. I'll include the link in the description below. Pretty much what's going to happen is we're going to copy all of our files into a folder. That folder this library will then take that folder and send it off to GitHub. Now, how does it actually get put onto GitHub? It will use our personal access token, which will give it permission to publish on our behalf. We're going to be following this tutorial here. This is on my website, and I'll link to it in the description below. So let's get started. We're just going to do the first step, and then I'm going to kind of skip ahead and kind of explain some things to you. So the first step is to actually set up a GitHub repository. If you already have one, great. I'm just going to set mine up quickly. So I'm just going to go to github.com/new. You have to have a GitHub account. I'm going to say zip demo. I'm going to make mine private. I just don't need, this isn't anything official. Perfect. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to remove all these extra tabs. It's a little busy. This isn't part of it. You can do this if you'd like. Okay. So what we have here is the GitHub Actions tab that we're going to take full advantage of. And if I click it now, there's nothing running. We can get started. We will get started in a second. First, we're going to have to clone the repository to our local computer. So open up a terminal window. I'm going to make this a little bigger. I'm going to switch onto my desktop and just do git clone zip demo. Switch into zip demo, and I'm going to clear the page. Next, I'm going to create the files that are required. So I have these 3 commands here. You can copy them, or you can run them yourself, or you might already have code. Perfect. I'm going to run git add all. I'm going to do a git commit. And I'm going to push directly to master. Now, since we haven't actually set up the GitHub workflow, nothing's going to happen. We just have code now living on a remote repository. I can go back to this tab and refresh the page. Open the lesson. So what next here is I'm going to show you how to set up the workflow. And in the workflow, I'll show you how to do a zip. Now, this action that was provided to us that requires the files to be in a folder, not in a zip. So you can skip that. We will be executing this one command. So open up your project in an editor. So I'm going to use Atom. So I head back to my terminal. I'm going to type in Atom and a dot. It's going to open up the whole project. I now have the full folder where GitHub Actions looks for workflows. Head back to the lesson. If I'm moving a little fast, you can pause the video. So I'm going to skip this step here. This is just getting your basics working. This is excluding files. This is the workflow I care about. Now I'm going to copy and paste it into my project, and I'll explain what happens. So pretty much what happens is on master, every push to master, this workflow will execute. It runs a Ubuntu image. It does a checkout. It then creates a release folder. Inside this release folder, this is the folder that gets put up into the tagging section. We're going to sync all of our files into this folder. So it's going to take the current directory, it's going to put them into a folder called release. It's going to ignore our .git folder, our .github folder, and our .gitignore. It will then switch into this directory, and then it will execute the GitHub action that does the tagging. It requires a GitHub token. I'm going to rename this to just be token. And so before we actually commit this up to our remote branch, we have to create this token and add this secret. The reason why we're using a secret here is so that it's better practice. You don't want your secrets to be visible, hard-coded in your workflow. Now, if it's a private repository, not the end of the world, but still good practice to put it into the actual secret section. So let's create our GitHub token first. Head back over to your internet browser and head back over to GitHub. Under your top right corner, head over to settings. I'm opening mine in a new tab. On the left side, you'll see developer settings, personal access tokens, generate new token, and this is going to be zip demo is my token name. I'm going to check repository and hit generate token. So I have it here. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to click zip demo. This is my repository. I'm going to head to settings, and on the left here you'll see secrets. Add a new secret, call it token, and paste it. Hit add, and now we have that secret that we need. So the last step is actually pushing the code up. I'm going to open up two windows just so that you can see what's happening. I'm going to head over to code. I'm going to head to releases. And I'm going to head over to tags here so you can see there's nothing here. I'm also going to open up the actions in a new tab. I can close my GitHub personal access tokens tab. Returning to the terminal here, I'm just going to do my push. So git add all, git commit, added workflow, and do a push. I'm just going to refresh my GitHub Actions page. You can see it's got started here. I can click that. Try it one more time. Alright, there's the push event. It took a couple seconds. And I can click that. So it's just downloading the third-party GitHub action, created the release folder, and it moves too fast for me to keep up. So as you can see, it's switched into this directory and it had this is the files in the directory. So it's just a readme and a main.py, and then here it goes to do the release. So if I head back over to my releases tab and refresh the page, as you can see, it's there. Thank you for watching this video. I'll have another one next week.